Hey guys, I don't know how many of you watching. We're just starting the stream. Quickly sharing the link with everyone. I'm gonna be right with you. There we go. All right. So this video is going to be about what's going to happen to Bitcoin and possible scenarios about that. Well, it's not a secret. We all know about the 1K theory, the Telejenks hyperwave theory, that it has to reset to 1K. Also, we had a key point that based on the chaos principles broke down. I was so confident that that's not going to be broken down because I didn't believe in 1K at that point either. But it did break down. I got my position liquidated at that point. That's okay. But it gave me a lot of information, that it gave me a lot of information. That kind of confirmed a possibility for 1K for me. Now, of course, it wasn't set in stone at this point, but just recently I got another confirmation about that as well. So it's based on the chaos principles. It's not based on any resistance lines or anything like that. So since you followed me, I kind of have an obligation to let you know about that and what to do about it, right? So first of all, in these scenarios, when we're still sitting at 6.8, 6.7K right now, and we may hit 7K, but the whole scope of it is what exactly is the plan right now for Bitcoin hodlers, right? If you're a hodler and you depend on Bitcoin for the next year or two, you need to be prepared, okay? And how does one prepare? Well, there's one strategy is to hedge, right? There's many ways to do that. In the simple terms, what you can do without anything fancy is just sell half of your Bitcoin. Again, I have to say that is not a financial advice, blah, 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 all that kind of thing. It's entertainment, okay? You're still responsible for anything that happens to your money. However, I'm sharing a few ideas about the chaos principles, okay? And you do whatever you want with it. It's up to you. But these are my recommendations, is to sell half of your Bitcoin, and this way you hedge against Bitcoin, okay? So that's very important. You need patience for that. It's not going to happen right away. It's going to take some time, but you have about 24 hours. You have about 24 hours to prepare. I'm sorry to kind of spring that up on you so quick, but I just recently got the confirmation myself. So, and luckily for us, Bitcoin is going up for now. So that's pretty much the message. That's what I suggest to do. Be prepared. You don't want to get caught with your pants down, okay? That's the last thing you want to do, right? If you depend on Bitcoin for the next year or two, be very careful. That's all I'm saying, okay? Plus the hyperwave theory, Tyler Jenks wrote the book about it. I highly recommend to buy that. It's probably going to fly off the shelves, if the Bitcoin hits 1K. And that guy deserves a statue. If in my opinion, I said to everyone, listen to your elders. Everybody was laughing at his ideas, but I knew that one principle is sure. One principle I surely believe is listening to your elders. And if he said something like that, he must have believed in it. I honestly didn't believe it at first, but once that confirmation happened, about 8.5K broke down at the key point. It's not the resistance levels or anything like that. It's a little bit different, and it's fractal based. And once it happened, And okay, I everybody on my group were informed. Be prepared. We may have that scenario. So there, that's pretty much it. And if you have any questions, shoot the questions. I'll answer your questions. And if not, then I'm going to end the stream. No questions? Okay, to summarize, you have 24 hours to prepare. Um, what all I'm saying is don't panic. And I'm saying that, hey, don't get caught with your pants down. Do not depend on Bitcoin for the next year or two. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And that doesn't mean that you sell all your Bitcoin and go crazy. Okay. But I'm saying if you do depend on Bitcoin, make sure that you're not for the next year or two. Okay. You can still have your Bitcoin. You don't have to sell everything, but prepare. That's what I'm saying. This is just a responsible thing to do. Oh, hey, Mitchell. What's up? Yeah, the quick summary is that based on the KOS principles, I had first confirmation before we were so confident it's not going to break because I didn't believe it's going to be hitting 1K because that's what it was pointing. If that line breaks, again, sorry, it's not the line. It's if that fractal breaks. And it broke down. I got my position liquidated because I believe that there's no way we're having 1K. But that obviously gave me information that now I know which direction to trade. Then after that, just recently I had another confirmation, again, based on chaos theory. And it confirmed, it confirmed the possibility of 1K. Okay. Again, it's not going to happen quick. It may take some time. It's the whole process. It may last about a year and a half. Okay. And once it hits 1K, don't rush to jump in too fast on the leverage. If you're buying at 1K, it's fine. But if you're trying to long 1K at the leverage, be very careful because at that point, the volatility is going to be maddening. So be very careful. Again, I'm not projecting, not um, predicting things. I'm just giving you the principles that are based on the chaos theory and how everything works. Okay. And so far, it really took care of us. Everybody on our group had. Yes, sure. 3 and 4K is something that may happen sooner than we think, but it's not. 1K is not going to happen anytime soon. So don't worry about that. Don't need to panic. Again, the buying pressures and all these kind of things, these are technical, and I don't trade based on the technical ideas because market is not technical, market is natural. So I look at everything based on natural chaos theory principles. Everything else I discard. So you know exactly how it's going to happen. I don't have that much information about it, but I can tell that 3K may happen sooner than you think. 1K is not going to happen soon. And yeah, but that is all if it's not invalidated. If the pattern keeps going and we don't come back up, and when we're going to have an attempt to come back to 7K, and if that thing does not hold, again, when I say thing, it's a fractal. There's a key fractal there. It's not a resistance line or anything like that. It's a key fractal. And if that doesn't hold and it breaks down, then that will be another confirmation. Because based on the chaos theory, your position is as good as the latest fractal. That is what it's all about. Currently, the information is pointing to the scenario to 1K. That can change in the future. But my observation is I'm very aware of where that would be. So I'm going to be on the lookout for that. If that is going to be confirmed, or invalidate it. So we'll see. But so far, in case 1K happens, be prepared. Be prepared. Yes, markets are emotional, but they're not like the way I see the emotional market idea is emotion is, if you look from the again from the chaos theory, from the electromagnetic theory, the emotion is electromagnetic wave emotion, right? We think of it as something that happens to you, right, as a human being, but we really think that we could be the fish in the pond, and if you just run the electricity through the pond, we all get electrocuted, right? So think about the solar flare coming towards the earth. Do you think it's not going to affect emotionally? A lot of cosmic forces affect the entire planet on emotional level. But then we humans need to rationalize and understand, try to understand, look, why am I feeling panicky right now? So we put pointing on different ideas like viruses that perhaps they are at fault, you know, but there are many more, more dangerous viruses. But we have to attribute all this panic to something. You see, same thing with the market. Market is just electromagnetic waves in motion, and they do follow exact same principles as the nature does. Everything is interconnected. Exactly. Yes. You're welcome, Hans. All right, so that's the message, pretty much in a nutshell. There's not much to talk about it. Yes, exactly. Oh, guys, by the way, so this all the trading videos are moving to a different channel. We created Mixed Trading House channel, so make sure you subscribe to that. I'm going to put the link in the description. Actually, I can share the link with you right now in the comments. So make sure you subscribe if you're interested to follow my trading theories. I'm very different. I'm not a technical guy at all. I mean, again, I have no idea what the market is doing unless I see it. Once I see it, I have a fair degree of certainty of the next, dance, if you will. But once that dance is over, I'm clueless again. I gotta look for it as well. So there. And oh yeah, also I'm gonna release a video soon about. Well, actually, I can tell you right now. If you want, if you're interested, next Saturday, April 4th, I'm gonna do a live stream, and I'm gonna give away my course about chaos principles. If you like to understand more in depth and apply it yourself, I will share these principles with you. And these principles are not just in the market; it's in life as well. If anything chaotic that's happening right now, like right now, how to handle that situation, how to make it into adventure, because chaos is not bad. If you know how to play with chaos, it's an adventure. It's very exciting. Okay, so we don't have to live in fear and panicking, all uncertain of what is going to happen now, what I'm going to do with my money, and all this kind of things. We can find a lot of certainty in chaos, in a way, right? So that's coming. And I'm also going to be doing something very interesting. This is all experimental, okay? So don't kind of hold my hand to the fire on this one, but I will be attempting to trade 1 minute candles to demonstrate the principles while I'm teaching the chaos principles. So it's going to be fun. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it may last a few hours or so. But throughout the entire time, I'm going to actually put a few positions. I'm going to show the execution. I'm going to show how is it done. And while we're waiting for the positions to be filled and all these kind of things, I'm going to be teaching the chaos principles. And then we'll see how that goes. And then you'll see how I'm actually applying those principles live. And, and some of my students use these principles, and make with it, and they make like 10% a day, you know, and they, some are successful, some are not, but overall, uh, you know, eh, those are not difficult to trade, and those are quite safe as well. You know. Anyway, so that's that's what's coming. So, by guys, so dollar is the king for the next year or two, not Bitcoin. Okay, dollar is the king. But then the reign changes. Bitcoin becomes a king, and dollar. Well, I'm sorry to say that, but you may, you know, I don't know, you may see a piece of bread costing $100, and that's why Bitcoin's going to be $1 million. It's because of that. All right, so that's pretty much it. If you don't have any more questions, I'm going to end the screen, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, guys, join the Telegram group. Again, I'll post it in the description, and is not logical. You can attribute and you can explain why market does something. It's like trying to explain how the flower grows. Try to explain how the flower is going to grow, right? With budding off, okay, then you can see and say, okay, I can see what kind of flower it is. I can kind of predict what kind of leaves it's going to have and what kind of color is going to be, right? But until that happens, you have no idea what's going to happen. Um, like for example, when the tree is growing, and if you're a scientist, I would ask you, okay, try to predict how the tree is going to grow. At first, you're not going to be able to say much, right? But then you see, okay, there's the branch sprouting out. I can tell exactly what kind of ratio is going to have with this stalk, with this branch, and this branch, and this leaf. Okay, because all I'm doing is applying natural principles. You see, that's the only certainty that you have, right? But first, you got to see that budding out, and then nobody's reason anyway. Like, it's not news. It's not because somebody said something. It's not because of this. And we dropped because of this, reason. No. The things are much, much, much deeper. Things are much, much deeper, and they're not superficial. And of course, we humans are trying to. It's reasonable to try to explain every single move and why is it happening, but it happens because of the forces of nature. And it is. Every single fractal has a certain, which is a new principle that, it's new to my teachings, but I've been applying for quite some time now, that every single fractal has a gravity points. And whether you like it or not, these gravity points are going to pull the price in, right? And now there's one gravity point, again, I don't want to give a specifics, because if I give you the specifics, the information changes, and I don't get to tell you what the information changed, right? But the point is that 1K, there is a fractal there with a very strong gravity pulling the price down, and eventually it's going to get it. And that's all. That's it. There's nothing else to talk about it. With no amount of anything in the world is going to change that. It's a force of nature. You see, and of course, that was not the case before the key fractal was broken. But once it was broken, it's pretty much inevitability, unless there's going to be another key fractal that is going to be broken in another direction, right? So it could be invalidated. I'm not saying that it can't be, because nothing is certain over here, but it's certain for time being, okay? And it's just as you predicting if once you know what kind of tree, then you know, okay, I know this tree is going to have these types of ratios between the branches, and I know how tall it's going to grow, and then all sorts of information once you see it, and that is inevitable, because that's the force of nature. It's just going to happen. Now, of course, I'm not giving you justice. I'm not. I can't just explain, hey, this is a force of nature, and you have to take and believe with it. But that's why my the course is for. It's entirely free, by the way. I'm just giving it away because I see so many people are kind of lost and trying to give up on the market, and I'm saying like, hey, no, you don't have to give up. You can change the paradigm because the market is chaotic. If you adapt the chaos theory, you're gonna have a lot of fun. You see, and that's that. A lot of people may criticize me about, yeah, a lot of people may criticize me, so like, it's because of my liquidation. No, the liquidation was a right point in the market to get liquidated. If I'm honest with you, I was like a million long on that. Okay, I put 2 Bitcoin in, I drove it to 10 Bitcoin, and then I stacked the whole thing on that key fractal because hey, it's not gonna be 1K, right? Boom, broke down, got liquidated. Essentially lost those 2 Bitcoin that put in. Actually, I had half a Bitcoin left, and now I'm back to 2 Bitcoin again. And I wasn't trading again. I just started trading again, and it's going well. So we'll see how that goes out. How that turns out. But that's the situation with liquidation. Oh, and by the way, I didn't liquidate it on everything, right? I just put 2 Bitcoin in, and that's why I was advising to everyone to put a fraction of the entire portfolio. We don't trade the whole account, right? Because we don't bet on our, brute force. We're betting on our skill. Because if we're good, you can take, 5x that, and then that's why I was not worried. I had a good day when I had that liquidation. I was not worried. I understood what happened. Everything's fine, and because I don't trade in a way like I have infinite lives, if you will, right? And I know that I can always play the game and always get it back. I don't. That's why I don't worry because I got those skills. I don't need to gamble. It wasn't a gamble. It was an accident that I made those 10 Bitcoin from 2 Bitcoin. Okay, I can do it again, so it's not a big deal for me. That's why when I get liquidated, it's shit happens, and there are a few indications that it might broke down, but of all the places to get liquidated, I happy I took that chance, and and that's how you trade, right? You make sure you have infinite lives. Whatever your sum is, you put the Bitcoin in, let's say, right, and you play it, but that's not your entire money, right? So even if you lose it, it's like, oh, then you put another Bitcoin in, and maybe do 5x that time to take the 4 out, right? You play with the Bitcoin that's left. So, and that's how you play it. So you make sure that you have more lives in this video game. But you don't go in and have one life in the video game. That's crazy. Of course, you're going to be, and that's, by the way, that's a greed factor, which I teach as well. There's a greed factor that we need to be very aware of. It is between the greed and the gratitude and generosity, right? You have to find that balance, because if you don't, the greed takes over and you end up having nothing, right? Because you wanted too much. Like if you clench that nut that's stuck in the tree, you can't take the fist out, right? Because you're grabbing it too tight, and so you can't take the fist out from the a hole in the tree. And that's actually how they would catch the monkeys and and shoot them. They would put the nut inside the hole in the tree, and the monkey would come in and grab the nut, and it's just, you can't take it out, because as soon as it grabs the nut, the hole won't let it out. And the hunter can just walk up real quiet. The monkey just struggling, trying to get that nut out, does not want to let that nut go. And the hunter just pops the monkey. Okay? Don't be the monkey. Don't be the monkey. Yes. So the healing part from the liquidation is very important. Now, if you follow these principles and don't trade everything you got, you're not going to have that much damage, right? Then it's going to be less painful. But since you had that, you need to have a time to heal. And I do teach that as well, of how to prepare emotionally, how to heal, how to make sure that it doesn't go on your self-esteem, because it's not an indication about your self-esteem at all. It's more an indication of how you navigate the world, right? And it's that greed factor, and it's not patient enough, you know. So, and it's totally understandable. I am guilty of that as well. Okay, so it's human nature, and this is something that you grow emotionally as a human being, and then you can lean back, and then you let the price come to you, and then you let the equity come to you. You don't chase it. You never chase it. Okay, there's maybe 99% of the time, there's no point chasing the price, right? 99% of the time. That's why we don't take market orders. We're the market makers. We don't take market orders. And but there's 1% that you do need to take a market order. Well, not necessarily, but in some occasions. But there's basically, to you, to somebody who, let's say, starts trading this way, you do not take market orders. You know, and major wins. And you need to know it's because even putting a stop loss, before I wasn't putting a stop loss at all, but there's very rare occasions where you do need a stop loss, like the key fractal. There was an entire market fractal that had a chance to break down. So of course I should have had the stop loss there. So there's few occasions where we do need a stop loss. And I don't think that it's a good idea to never use the stop loss. But if you know the fractals, if you understand where to use a stop loss, you can use a stop loss. And especially after you had, the wick fractal, then for time being you can use a stop loss and you'll be fine. But if you haven't had the wick out in a while, then you need to be careful with stop loss. And sometimes when you see the market very wicky, you can tell, okay, this is not the time. You can profit from the wickiness, but your trading is very different. You lean back and you lean away from the price action, and you're like on the outskirts like a sniper, waiting with your positions in case the weakening happens. You see, that's when you do when it's wicky out there. But when it does, the wick can be big. Like $500. Yeah, like 500. We recently just had $500. Wick, and I had my entries over there, and I didn't anticipate. But I was quite close. I mean, I got in on this very, very close. It went past my entries a little bit, but because I waited on the outskirts, price came to me. Okay, and that's that. Yes, I was getting a negative numbers. That's when I said it's not possible. But I looked in again after obviously it happened. Is it possible? And I looked in that there was an issue with the way I did it. I made a mistake by using log as opposed to standard. Okay, that was the issue. And sure enough, I looked at it again. It just points exactly at. It actually points at 889. That's what it points at. So I looked at it again, and that's how I caught. I made a mistake, and I got caught. And it's okay. I learned from it, and I really, really sort of grained that into me right now. So next time it's not going to happen, so I'm going to be much more careful. But these things happen, it's okay. This is all part of the process. I don't have 50 years experience in trading. I'm still learning. You see, that's why I say I am not a black belt. I'm still a brown belt. But I'm doing, based on how I see other people are doing, I'm doing very well. Like, it's just different type of vibe that I'm experiencing as opposed to other people. And I love teaching it, and I can really, all the people that join my group and that are the ones that are mentoring, I gave them a lifetime membership of all the content in the future because they were special first students and so on. And uh, they're doing very well, you know, and they had big losses as well, but they got back on the horse and regained all the money. That's, you see, that's the point. You do all the principles after a big loss. If you over leverage or made a mistake, you need some time to cool off and heal. So you cannot approach the market angry. You see, it's very important to approach the market with calm and love and relaxation and look for the beauty in the market. You see, and by the way, Bitcoin, it's beautiful. It's like rose, but it has thorns, right? And if you look at the Bitcoin, Bitcoin has thorns. Look at the Litecoin, no thorns. Okay, so you got to be careful. Bitcoin has the greed factor, sort of safety installed in there, right? So you got to be gentle with Bitcoin. You cannot force it. You can't over leverage. You have to allow some cushion. If you're in a position and you're getting close to price action, you better have some cushion so you don't get liquidated, right? So that's the thing trading Bitcoin. You need to be patient and you need to have some cushion. With Litecoin, um, there's no thorns. You can actually go a little bit heavier on Litecoin, okay? And you're not gonna have a bad time. So there, that's the issue with the minus 1K. It was that um, it was not correct assumption. That's all. But the key fractal is that's the point of it, right? The key fractal should never broken down. That's the point. And once it broke down, and people are saying like, why are you so confident about, well, look, I'm not confident in the sense that it's definitely going to happen, because things change, but they change at the key points. For now, 1K is coming. Okay, unless that changes, 1K is coming. Just like that tree, I know where the tree is growing. Unless somebody chops the tree off and plants a new one, that tree is going to grow. You see? So that's why it's very dynamic, right? And people may say, okay, changing mind. I don't change. It's nothing to do. I don't argue with the fractal. The fractal tells me something, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's that. And then something else happens. It tells me something else. Okay, I guess that's not going to happen. You see? And that's what it's like. So, but then when that doesn't gonna, when that is not gonna happen, something else is, and all sorts of things like that. All right, okay, guys. So this has been half hour. The message was supposed to be about the Bitcoin and what to do. In a summary, very simple. Just make sure you hedge, and if you don't want to do anything fancy, just okay, some people ask me, hey, I don't have an account where I could actually take out the dollars, right? Then in that case, you need to be carefully short the futures. It will give you a exact same effect. You give like 1x short, and that's exact same that you're in the dollars right now. You're not gonna get liquidated because 10% move is 10% move. Okay, so that's what you do. You just take 1x short on your Bitcoin, and you don't have to actually sell your Bitcoin if you're willing to do that way. Okay. Other than that, you can sell your Bitcoin, half of your Bitcoin. This way you hedge it. So if you look at the overall, sum of your portfolio, whatever happens to Bitcoin, it should remain the same, right? Because you split in half, and so it's balanced out now. So, I mean, overall, you should have a similar type of, much better, basically. That's what I'm saying. And you want to have some cash in the next year or two. It's about a year and a half or so. Yeah, that's it.